Are you tired of waking up with a dry mouth, feeling sluggish? I was too, until I discovered the power of mouth taping. I read a book called Breathe, and it opened my eyes to how I could get a better sleep. So I started taping my mouth, and the results were astounding. Not only did I wake up feeling refreshed, but the data on my Whoop suggested I was getting more REM and more deep sleep, which led to me feeling better every morning. But I wanted a better solution, not just sticky tape, something that was effective and comfortable. That is why I co-founded Recover Right with a few friends. We are dedicated to helping Australians get fast and easy access to mouth tape and nose tape so you can breathe better, sleep better, and recover right. Use the discount code TMTCP for 10% off at the checkout. Sleep better with Recover Right. Welcome back to the Man That Can Project podcast. Today's episode, as always, is another great, insightful, and educational chat with Jim Bostock. So Jim has been on the show before. He is known as the Needle Guy. And this episode, we dive deep. He has blown up on social media. He's been in the news. He's been literally bringing athletes' careers back to life. And what we talk about aligns with you because you are an athlete. And we talk about why people should develop and believe in the athlete's mindset. It changes how you view health and longevity. A few key takeaways from this episode are treating the root cause of pain. It's more effective than addressing the symptoms. Listening to your body and making choices that prioritize your overall well-being is crucial. And Jim is also creating some online resources to help people like you with their nerve lock release. So here's the Needle Guy. This episode is going to be awesome. Remember, if you are enjoying these episodes or you have guest recommendations, hit me up on Instagram or you can send me an email. Share these episodes. Let's dive into the episode with Jim Bostock, the Needle Guy.
Jim Bostock, welcome back on the show, mate.
Oh, brother, I'm so happy to be here with you again. We always have the greatest chats.
We do, and it's always those moments where I'm like, I wish we were recording this so other people could learn what I'm learning right now. I always take away one great piece of advice, and then I probably pass it along down the line to other people that I get to connect with. How you doing, man?
Really, really well. Healthy. That's the most important thing. And just energized, for the next little run. Really good.
So you were saying you got your first tennis tournament again in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, yeah. So getting the body bashed up slowly, ready for that slogging. And, prepare the body and then the recovery strategies after.
Got to have those recovery strategies.
For a 43-year-old body,
Mate,
got to push it.
You don't look it.
It's all about the hormones, brother. We'll have a chat about that in a moment. Yeah.
Definitely we will. It's cool where we've got to connect. Obviously, our first episode we did live in Brisbane. Then we caught up in LA recently, which was sick.
I had so many patients tell me, I just saw you with Lockie and you were in a towel and you were nude up top and we're in the rain and we're just talking. What were you guys doing?
No comment.
That was a good day.
Indeed. But everyone, context, we'll give context, otherwise the minds will wander. We were at a mutual friend, Kevin, who was on the show recently. And he has an epic setup at his house, sauna, ice bath.
Yeah.
So much fun, man. What do you like about saunas and ice baths?
The body needs to be stressed in extremes to adapt. And it's wonderful for the hormones, again, as we said, to push the body in certain extremes. And I personally listen to the body. My body loves heat because it hates heat, if that makes sense. I struggle in the heat generally, so I like to put myself in heat so that my body can adapt. And then the cold, of course, really good to flush all the blood out again. So for me, it's always about blood flow. I look at it from blood flow. It's great for the muscles, great for the organs, great for the nervous system. Oh, great. It's healing.
We're going deep early. So when you talk about you don't like it, but you love it,
Yeah.
Embracing the discomfort. It's such an important thing, especially in the current times, people's ability to deal with adversity, to push themselves further than they first thought possible. And cold therapy or heat exposure is a great way to do that in a controlled environment. I'm like you, Jim. I struggle in the sauna. I find myself like towel over my head, just looking at the ground, praying. I'm like, fuck, help me.
I hear you.
But then I always walk away feeling incredible. And what I've noticed over the times of consistency is my tolerance builds up. I start maybe at 7 minutes, and then I have to jump out, and then I have done 30-minute stints, and I'm like crazy. And that's in a
great
number of
effort.
weeks.
That's a great effort. Yeah, pain is important. Discomfort is important. In my line of work, you don't progress anywhere without pain. You don't progress as a human being without discomfort. Even suffering pain for a long time, even though it sucks to go through it, what your body learns in that period is the greatest learning.
There probably is a reason why you're drawn to working with athletes, right? Because athletes, in order to get to the top of their sport and remain at the top of their sport, they have to put their bodies through incredible things. And whether you're a weekend warrior or an elite athlete and you're wanting results, I'd consider myself a weekend warrior athlete, but I love to do things to maximize results. I'm not doing it I got a marathon this weekend, Jim.
Whoa.
And
Woo.
yeah, Nashville Marathon, rock and roll. Let's do it.
Well done.
But
that's awesome.
I haven't completed it yet, so we may have to hold off on that. But
oh man, you're going to do a PB
for sure. But I go all in on things, and there's a lot of people out there who do the same. And what you put your body through, what you put your mind through, can break barriers, but also build extreme amounts of confidence. And that's then where you come in, and you heal us, you help us. So I'm going to play a quick clip, Jim, just to give a brief overview, and then I'm going to hit you with a pretty cool question. So let's hope this comes through. Let's go again. Here we go.
Yeah. 7 News can reveal the secret weapon that has former Lion King Dane Zorko now eyeing off the magical 300-game milestone. The 35-year-old's bold declaration comes ahead of Thursday's Gabba Grand Final rematch with Collingwood.
Meet Jim Bostock, the needle guy.
There it is.
A Brisbane sports physio who's transforming careers and lives.
I was meeting people who are not getting better, but medically healthy. So I went on my own path.
18 years later, he's perfected the nerve lock needle treatment.
What's been with them for 5 years, 18 years, 50 years disappears immediately.
It's like a little popping sensation, and it's not, but when it hits the right spot, you know.
Dane Zorko's the fifth.
Yeah.
We won't give away all the juiciness. Jim, we spoke about this a little bit on our last episode. You've continued to grow. You continue to treat people from all walks of life, but you really hone in on the athletes. Before we dive into that and what inspired you to start working with athletes specifically, can you share a quick little recap around your journey and how you came to be known as the needle guy?
Very simple. People just kept calling me the needle guy. This is my needle guy. I go to that needle guy, and this is my needle guy. So it was easy. And when I went to the States for the first time to, talk about this more and treat people, they loved it. It was such a hit. And so it stuck. And we thought, right, now I'm working with athletes more so, and athletic mindset people. So like yourself, you're an athlete because you give a crap about your body. You appreciate the vessel that you're in this planet, on this planet, and you want to bring the best out of it in every way possible. That's an athlete. So I love that. And the needle guy made sense. It just fit. It worked. People connected with it. Here it is.
Dude, I love that you linked that to that, because you've just brought in such a broad audience now with referring to people who actually give a crap about the body. The body is the one thing that the better we take care of it, the longer it's going to support us throughout our years here. If you don't,
depends on your goals. Yeah, it depends on what your aspirations are, for sure. It's the one thing we've got. We sit in.
Take care of it.
You got it.
Moving into the athlete or the athlete mindset space, then, what has made you so effective? Because you are so highly sought after.
Yeah.
I had a person literally. So I had a client actually message me the other day, and he was on a date, and he's like,
okay.
I was talking to my date about you, and she's like, "Oh, that guy's on Jim's page. What's he think about Jim Bostock?" And I was like, "Jim's the man." But everyone's talking about you and your methods. Obviously, I just shared a clip then from your recent time on the news working with Dane Zorko from the Brisbane Lions. But you work with athletes all around and people. You've helped me so much. So what really separates you, and can you give us a bit more of a rundown on how you help people through the recovery phase but also continue to excel?
The journey I took started with a pain really deep within me, and that pain was, and still is, but less intense today, that I always believed the human body can heal faster and is able to get out of pain if it's stuck in pain. But our medical system, infrastructure that I trained in, we didn't have the physical tools for pain. And we were approaching pain in completely the wrong way. That was my pain, because I kept treating people and they weren't getting better. And I had to resort to the business model, which I couldn't do very well. I sucked because I couldn't lie to people. That was my greatest failure. So I lost a lot of jobs because of it. So that pain led me to keep pushing and figuring out that there is a way. And I found it. And when I found it, I had to prove to myself and my people that I was treating again that this is something very special. And I kept looking and I kept looking and I kept looking, listening, and now it's official. So the greatest difference is that when a nerve lock gets reset, as I call it, the body progresses. It doesn't recoil back to being stuck again. So the people that I meet are like yourself when you had that interesting hip problem. Why, when I do everything to the greatest ability, is this thing not just going away? Because the nervous system is stuck. And we're naturally designed as human beings. When something is traumatized, both physically and emotionally, the nervous system has an amazing way of locking it down. I found a way to unlock it. And it's a simple needle that goes directly to that nerve area and resets it. So the difference is really in the progression and the result that comes from a release. And that's where I found my greatest joy, because what the human person, even mammals, I've tested this on some mammals, what they feel after, emotionally and physically, is my greatest joy.
Let's take a quick break.
Are you seeking to understand who you are, what you want from life, and where you fit into this busy world? The Man That Can Project Self-Discovery Program is the program to help you answer those questions. This program with 3 comprehensive modules helps you get clear on who you are as a man, what you want from your life, and where you can set yourself up to thrive. Throughout this program, you're going to dive deep on some of the life's questions that only the most successful people ever spend time to answer. It's not only about standing out in this busy world, but it is using your life experiences to create a better life for yourself. I know that I wish I had this when I started my journey. It would have helped me fast track success and get clear on what was truly important. Once you complete this program, you're going to have a better sense of direction and purpose for your life. You will have more confidence and resilience and a complete roadmap to create the life that you want. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. Head over to themanthatcanproject.com and check out the self-discovery program. I can promise you, your life will never be the same.
I love how this has come off the back of your own integrity and wanting to find a true solution.
Yeah.
When I think what a lot of people don't dive into is the business behind healthcare and a lot of everything, really. If you look at anything that's happening, there must be a sustainable business. I was chatting with a fellow yesterday and he was saying, oh man, there's just no markups in cars. You know, I asked for a discount on a car. Can they knock any more off? And the salesman said to me, no, man, if like there's just no margin, that's what we're getting it at. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, it can't be possible because no business is going to run with no margin. Like especially a big car manufacturing company, there needs to be profit for marketing and to feed families and to look good on the balance sheet at the end 100%, of the year.
Yeah.
And every business needs to, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when you look at a business model that may have you coming back and continuing to come back, and as you said, it's not treating the cause of it. It's the cause of it. It's more the symptom. You will be returning time and time again. It's no different to mental trauma. If you're, once again, I feel that a lot of people aren't looking at the true cause to a lot of the reasons why we're highly medicated in today's world and making changes, because the easy solution is to go, I'll go get my massage every week, or I'll have these tablets and I'll stop having to think about or dealing with the pain. And hopefully, you know, if that pain comes back, I'll just increase my dosage or I'll increase my frequency of the treatment, rather than going, what do I need to do? Because back to your point, Jim, the body heals itself. It's proven that. But what are the things that we can use to assist that? And that your curiosity to go, I can't lie to people. I don't want people coming back 21 times a year for me to just slap another Band-Aid on, has helped unlock this huge breakthrough that people are seeing you 1 to 3 times and they're done. Like it's done. Phenomenal.
Yeah. It goes back to the business side of this conversation again. A popular question I get is, how do you do good business then? If you fix people too quick, how do you do good business? You need the volume of people. And my simple answer is, it's amazing what happens when the human body actually gets better. When you feel better, that your body is saying, it's good, let's go. And you've been carrying that shit for 10 years. I can guarantee you that person is going to tell everybody. And that's how my business has grown. My greatest pain is making sure that I keep producing the results. So that's my ego. I have to produce the results because that warrants why I'm here, justifies my journey. So that's my pain that drives me every day, is I can't sit on something that is not getting better. And if it's not getting better, there is a reason for that. And we have to find that reason.
Love it. What's been a recent or a client of yours, and obviously I understand client confidentiality, but if there's one that you could talk about without their name, of a result that you've had that has been completely life-changing for them, something that maybe even you for a while were like, I don't know whether I can do this. Yeah.
There's 2 scenarios. I mentioned earlier, we have been approaching pain completely wrong, in my opinion. So the medical literature, Google, ChatGPT, Crawl, we're approaching pain, especially, in the wrong way. Don't get me wrong. An anesthetic is great for pain. You know, anti-inflammatory, great for pain. Surgery, if something is broken, it's great for pain. But we're talking pain that's been lasting a very long time. And athletes, you're an athlete. If something is holding you back, no matter how strong you are up here, if something is holding you back, your confidence drops, guaranteed, in yourself, in the people around you. If you are prone to mental health issues, wow, not great. If you're prone to bad habits, not great. So a classic story for one, I'll give you the first one, is just the physical pain. When a nerve lock sits in the calf muscle, I'll keep it simple. You can develop this pain in your heel and in your Achilles that drives runners crazy. An elite runner, athlete, professional, footballer, when that Achilles gives you pain and stops you running halfway through the game, you're doubting everything. Your confidence drops, your ability drops, your teammates lose confidence in you, you feel worse about yourself. If that's been around for 4 years, can you imagine? So what the nerve lock release does, it resets the pain system in the Achilles completely. It increases blood flow, increases lymphatics, Achilles tendinopathy lumps start to disappear. It's incredible. And it happens within weeks. And this is the Dane Zorko story that you just saw as a classic example. And he was happy to share that because everybody in the public here in Australia anyway knew that he had a big problem. He wasn't the Dane Zorko that people were accustomed to. So that's a simple case for the physical side. Then there's the other side, the emotional side. Someone carrying a hip pain for 20-something years, for example, and it doesn't make sense. Medically checked, 2 surgeons have had a look. I've had surgery to the lumbar spine thinking that was the problem, and yet the pain is still there. That pain is highly connected to an emotional traumatic event when she was 18 years old. And it's stored in the parasympathetic nervous system, in the sacrum, that drove nerve locks in the glutes and holding. So she needed not just the physical nerve lock release with my needles, but an emotional release. And I had to guide her down that path, breath work being one of it, a factor in that healing journey. So that's 2 sides, 2 examples.
And so from that side, looking at the mental, because I always get really fascinated with the mental sides of things because I believe everyone's carrying some baggage and often we aren't aware of it. So when you're doing things like that, obviously the pain can present itself. I did a breath work again. I did one with your brother.
Yeah.
And yourself. When was that? That'd be 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wow.
I did another one recently as well at our last workshop here. And I had this insane pain on my knee. I was like, man, maybe I tore my MCL or ACL in the water. It was just like pressure, like nothing else. And as we were going through this breath work, the pain started moving up my leg, into my torso, into my throat, and it was just sitting in my throat. And then I just erupted, like crying. And the whole time as well, I wasn't like dealing with anything in my head, and I hadn't been. And then I just had, as it like came out, my mind just focused on exactly what it was. And I had this emotional release, and I'll share it with the people, audience, just because I think it's important. But my biggest fear is when I have people at workshops or when I have people at the events, I'm really focused on and worried about people not having a breakthrough. Not being able to help them find something to improve upon. And there were 2 blokes who came and went throughout the day, and I was taking that personally. I was like, man, they're not going to get a result when you're not here focused. And I feel like I'm here to help men in that way. I don't want men taking their life by their own hands. And I believe finding purpose, being around the right people, learning to do more challenging things is a great way to improve your ability and your mental health in life. And so when I don't feel like people are getting that experience, I feel like I'm letting people down. I'm letting myself down. And that, even saying it out loud, I'm like, why would I even erupt on that? But that was as real as possible for me in that moment. And it came through physical pain initially and then went emotional. I got to talk about it. I got to think about it, and it had never once crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Really.
Your body has a remarkable
process
way of holding on to stuff and then telling you about it later. Remarkable way. I mean, I am and was trained in the medical system, but what I've observed in the human body over the years now, yeah.
What do your colleagues say, or your peers, with your technique and your approach to things? Do they agree with it, disagree, challenge you? What's that space look like?
It's a hard question to answer because I get so many mixed comments. Definitely my peers don't get it, generally don't get it, and they just poo-poo it. It's just another needling technique. So yay, good for you. That's what I generally hear. Others are just curious, really curious. What is this? And that's great too. You know, everyone has their own journey. So it's a mixed one. I'm not too concerned about what my peers think. As I said, my pain and my ego is making sure people get better. And like yourself, you don't want to let people down. And that is your fear and my fear. And that is what I live and drive my work side by and career side by, is just making sure I do good healing work. And if I keep doing it, I'm in love. Yeah.
And what happens when you come up against someone, or have you come up against someone that you haven't been able to treat?
Haven't? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It gives me an awful feeling that I can't help someone. Always does, never change, because that's how I started this. I always was told, you're a nice guy, but you suck. So it's a sting, and you get that rush of when you can't help anyone. But how I created this treatment method is when a nerve lock releases, the true nature of your problem reveals itself. Always does. The body never lies. I believed that way back then, 19 years ago, and today it's more certain than ever. So therefore, I'm also very confident now in telling you that your pain is because of your emotional past locking. I can't fix this pain just purely through nerve locks. When the nerve locks release, it's game on. We will know. That's why a lot of the surgeons in Australia and in Brisbane particularly love when I send a patient to them for surgery, because it always works. Because when nerve locks disappear, the body is ready to have surgery. It's actually broken. The spine, for example, a very precarious area in many people's minds. And in surgery, it's let's have a go. The success rate's pretty good. It's not definitive, but when nerve locks disappear, it's a definite. If your pain doesn't go away, I failed, yes, but I know with confidence, Lockie, you need this surgery, or you need that procedure. This medical pathway is definitely you, and I bet my house on it. So in that way, I've also given myself a saving grace, because I had to look for reasons. As I said, why isn't John Doe getting better? Something is not right. It's not fitting the picture with the last 100 persons that I've treated for the same problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I fell upon this only through observation. I just kept observing. I used to treat like 60, 70 people a week in my 20s. I used to work my weekends just resetting people. Friends, families, anybody, even patients during the week who paid, I got them back on the weekend and treated them for free just to figure it out. And I kept seeing the results, and I kept, putting the data down. And I only discovered this through observation. The literature has nothing on this.
How do you approach athletes differently to you?
Non-athlete type of people?
Yeah, to non-athletes.
It all comes down to their personal story, because everyone's body is their own unique product of their past, emotionally, physically, spiritually, energetically, every way. So that's why pain is approached incorrectly, as I said before, because we can't put 20 people with knee pain in the same sample size. They all have different emotional histories. They all have different genetic codings. That's how I approached it. And it's the truth. Like your knee pain, for example, knee is one of the areas that an emotional history can cause pain in. Right? So, yes, it all depends on the person. Generally, athletes are highly connected to their nervous system. That's why they're so gifted in what they do. Even musicians, they're very connected. So I call them, or call you guys, super duper nervous systems. You're very switched on, and every little every little tweak I do to the nervous system, they feel it, and the results are much more powerful, like 100-fold, compared to somebody who is non-athletic. But again, it depends on your goals. Generally, the non-athletic population, they want to be pain-free. They just want to be pain-free. The athletes, they have other aspirations. They want to run faster. They want to be able to play more years without pain. They don't want that thing down there causing me problems in games and losing my confidence and so on.
It's important once you start recognizing what the goal is, and going back to how you developed nerve locks or in the first place, is like when you have an idea of what problem you're trying to solve, and that could be a life problem, meaning I want to have a life where I live relative or mainly pain-free. Who do I need to become? How do I need to set my lifestyle up in order to work towards that? If you live a more active lifestyle, you may need massages, you may need physiotherapy, you may need gym to help assist that. Like I live I would say, aggressive lifestyle in regards to my physical goals that I set for myself, but I also,
you definitely test your body.
Yeah. But I definitely make sure that I invest in the recovery process as well, and definitely do listen to my body. And I have thought a lot about, okay, in my 30s, what would I love to do now that maybe I won't be able to do in my 50s or 40s, so that I can really invest in prioritizing those things, because I'm also trying to collect life experiences. I think about, if I was to read my, life resume when I'm 90, what do I want to see on that? And there's going to be some things that I can only do in my 30s that I can't do in my 80s when I have more time or money. So I think it's very important to think about that, and tying that back into the work that you do, whether it's physically or mentally. There are things that we should be doing. There are people we should be surrounding ourselves with. There are skills that we should be developing, experiences that we should be sharing in order to work towards that. Because as you said, the people that you see, Jim, the nerve locks that they have or the injuries that they are experiencing are a result of their past.
Yeah.
The past is driving our future. And if we don't like where we are presently, we need to change the actions moving forward.
Yeah. A really good one for you as well, because you are very, very in the athletic category, is in your 40s. Treat your 40s like it's a preparation. It's a base to build on for your 50s and 60s. Your 40s is the time. So in my 40s now, I am preparing my body in every way to get through 50s and 60s more smoothly. This is the transition period, I feel, from what I've observed.
What have been some of the major changes that you've made from your 30s to your 40s, and in
intensity?
Intensity.
I've dropped down intensities in certain areas. Like I used to love jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff like that. I've dropped that because families and can't keep getting my neck cranked and getting choked out. and I'm a family man now. And so that was my personal, goal. And also because my workload, I want to, my aspirations in my career and in my relationships, I don't want to be in broken pain. But then stressing other areas of my body in my 40s to help tolerate the traumas that will come in my 50s and 60s, accepting the fact that my tissues will become more fragile. Yep. And oxygen will degrade us more. Yep. Things will get saggier. Yep. So my 40s, work on my hormones, work on my muscles, work on my circulation, work on good sleep, recovery, work on good relationship, sex life, love, the intimacy side of the human body, as well as the physical side, and not pushing extremes in every aspect, but in areas that bring me more joy.
Sounds like your definition of what would be, work-life harmony or balance, where you're very clear on what is important to you and what you need to be working on now in order to build that life for you, rather than waking up in your 60s going, oh shit, my intimate side of my life sucks. My body doesn't move well. I've got chronic back pain. I don't have any friends around.
Like, let's say, I don't know, like functional CrossFit, functional lifting, the new High Rocks looks amazing. When people really in their 40s push and a lot of boundaries and PBs and really punish their bodies, I always see the repercussions in their 50s.
Yep.
But if they're doing it with a beautiful goal, with love, and they're also healthy on the other side of the body, which is the intimacy, the emotional energy side of their body, if they're in harmony with that, their bodies are much healthier in their 50s and 60s. But those who just push and keep pushing the limits because they have a pain they're running away from, for example, oh my gosh, their 50s and 60s are not healthy. So it's a balance, right? You have to look at yourself from every angle, not just, I am capable of lifting 250 kgs, so I'm just going to go and punish this and keep trying to get better and better and better. Yeah.
A good place for people to start there is even just getting out a notepad and writing down, areas of your life that are important to you. And if you're new to this, I would just start from the macro. So I would go health, wealth, relationship, and happiness.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like we do with our nutrition in the beginning, go carbs, proteins, fats. Keep it super simple before you get into, all the nuts and bolts of it, and just start there and start going, okay, well, in my next chapter of my life, what do I feel like I want this area to look like? And start writing things down. And as a result of that, you're going to start creating a bit of a roadmap that you can dive into. You can, dive into the health space. What do I need to learn? As you've said, Jim, you've spoken about hormones, sex life, all these like subcategories of that we need to sink into and learn about. And same with the physical and everything like that. So I think it's important, but there's a little bit of a starting point for people. I know you've got a jet for a client in a second, but what's new and exciting for you? What are you working on that you're pumped about at the moment?
Our biggest one right now is I'm going to do something special online for people, because the demand now globally for nerve lock release is difficult, because I'm the only one doing this, and it is a a disadvantage for many people. So understanding that, I'm creating something online for people to help their nerve blocks, and in some cases get rid of it without needing my physical treatment. I do travel now. That's the cool thing. I travel and treat people in all various wonderful places. But yes, it's on the business side, the slight downfall is it's just me. And I have not started the process of training people as yet. It is in the timeline, but my energy is currently saying that I need to just treat and really show the world what nerve locks are about. It's only been a year and a bit now since I really released it. I kept it hidden while I was finishing off all my data. So it only really finished in 2022, 23. So it's been a short time. So now my energy is towards just telling the world through awesome podcasts like this and social media and so on, just to gently educate this new way of thinking. And that's what the athletes have really enjoyed. All the professional athletes. I'm giving them a whole different perspective on their bodies again. Like imagine Dane Zorko going another 3 years, a LeBron James going another 3 years without having issues because their bodies are feeling so good. It's a whole different concept. And imagine like if you do a muscle strain, you're coming back from pain and dysfunction to full function within half the time. It's things like this that I want to gently educate now, and we're creating something cool online just to approach your body differently. You won't read about this on Google or chat because they get their data from the medical literature. This is something that I've observed over the last 20 years now, and the human body is remarkable, like remarkable. So I can't wait to share that on a new platform. Yeah.
I'm excited for you, man. And for everyone listening, like you can follow Jim. I'll just get the Instagram page up again. You provide so much from the resource front there. Obviously you've got the needle guy page, but if you go to Jim_Bostock, there is so much content on there from helping people with all kinds of things. I'm just scrolling through here now. So just go start watching it. I guarantee there'll be a video there where you're like, oh, that's what I'm experiencing.
That's right.
Yeah. I think that's a cool thing. So I'm excited to see what you've got coming next, because I definitely be someone who's using it as my body continues to age.
Yeah, it's to help you understand your body so that intimately, so that, when you make strategy, when you create, very important. When you create strategies for your future or the next step, you're doing it smart. Because a lot of the time people stay in pain because they just don't know. They're told so many things and it's conflicting. A lot of the time conflicting to what you instinctively understand. You know, because your gut or your body is saying, hey, that I would like to just put you on a good path, narrow it down, and you'll see. It just makes sense because this is how I feel. This feels right. Listen to your body, basically. Listening to your body. It's so important. Yeah.
And well, I'll let you get to your client, but just to summarize, I've taken away a few key points. Obviously, one, trusting your gut. That's what led you down this path in the first place. And to see you on the side of trusting your gut has now put you in such an incredible position where you're changing people's lives and you're loving the life that you've created for yourself as well. I'm fascinated by people who have put themselves in a position to do what they love, to get paid to do what they love, and also have this great work-life harmony where they get to spend time with their family and still pursue their passions, because there was generations where that wasn't possible, and we live in such a great time where many people are leading the way and doing that. So that was some huge takeaways for me. Where else can people find you aside from the Instagram page?
Oh, obviously our website, bostockinstitute.com. Instagram and TikTok are the two biggest ones, Jim_Bostock. But we got a new team now. We're going to create some cool things on socials and creating the new online stuff. And but best place to look is Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Yeah. And it's just Jim Bostock. Look up Jim Bostock on that and you'll find me. Yeah.
I'll have all the links in the show notes so everyone can find it.
One thing I love about the work-life balance you mentioned before with everything, and it actually connects to what we mentioned earlier about our pain, our ego, our fear of not being good enough. A really good question I got from another chat I did last week was how do you look at work-life balance from all the observations you've made from people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people that I've treated from all various sectors of life, right, and the world. How do you look at work-life balance? And I had to think about that one because I've looked at and observed so many cool people, physically, emotionally, and I've treated them, right? And when you treat a body with nerve blocks, the answers reveal themselves. Always does. So I've had a beautiful, canvas of knowledge from people. And I came to one simple conclusion is if you can find a way to enjoy and really feel joy is, I think, the better word, with the time when you're conscious. If you can find a way every day, and it's always work, to find joy in the time that you spend doing things, that is work-life balance. And if we go a bit further, it's being comfortable, happy, being secure, being aware even to start with of the fear inside you. Not being scared of that person inside you. Because that is generally, commonly, the reason why we have our ego look at the world, right, in the way you do. If you're comfortable and aware and happy with that and not fearing that, you will find joy in the time that you live every day, in whatever you're doing, and you will find the gift that you have to give, whether it's in relationship, your children, friends, entrepreneurship, business, whatever. Because it will help you find the balance, the homeostasis, because you're not afraid anymore. You're not afraid of, I'm not good enough, which constantly pushes you to just keep going for more and can't say no. For example, I can't say no. I need to do that when someone else misses out. And there goes your sex life, right? There goes that important hormone. So your body's always doing yo-yos. If you can find a way to stay at a beautiful homeostasis, your hormones are thriving. Your body's thriving. That's called longevity, in my opinion. And the best way to do that is finding joy in the time that you are conscious.
It's a simple way to think.
I hope that came across.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I'm like,
very...
yeah, I'm like, that's coming across right.
I think it's goes through seasons of life. What brings you joy today may not be the thing that brings you joy tomorrow, but if you still focus on the joy, you're doing what needs to be done.
How many people say, I make so much money and yet I'm miserable?
Lots.
It's because we are not finding joy in the time that we're conscious. And that can change day to day. That can change from relationship to relationship. That can change from business to business. If you're bored and you're not doing your gift enough, you will know because you are happy with that person inside you. You understand that person well and you're aware of him or her. Oh, I need to lift a bit. Okay. Or, oh no, I'm going way too crazy here. My body is suffering because I'm listening to it. My body is saying, hey man, you're not sleeping well. Your bowels are not moving well. Your nutrition, when you're trying to put nutrition in you, your body's not responding. Your sex life sucks. Your kids, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm killing it in my company. You can dial it. I have to make some choices because I'm not finding my body saying I'm not really feeling joy, even though euphoria is there in my time. I'm now missing my kids. I'm now missing my intimacy with my partner or whatever, right? So then you have to, dial it back down again. And then, now I'm bored again. Let's go up again. We're always doing a bit of, but not this, if that makes sense.
Not erratically,
yeah. It's the joy in time. Time is your most precious. Yeah. That's work-life balance, I feel, everybody.
For me. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
45 minutes. Look at that. Nailed it.
We nailed it to a T.
We nailed it.
It's almost like
we nailed it. You'll never know.
Mate.
Lockie, such a pleasure, bro.
Likewise, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and I look forward to catching up when you're either back over here or...
Yep. Planning on coming back. Watch out, folks.
Whichever happens first.
Yep. Yeah, can't wait to come back. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachlan Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favourite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.